Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You know I love to challenge you with some thought-provoking questions.
And sometimes those questions come right from our listeners.
Exactly. Like today we're tackling a riddle sent in by a listener, and it's a real head-scratcher. The more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I?
Classic riddle really makes you think.
It does. It sounds so straightforward, right?
Right.
But the more you focus on those words take and leave behind, the trickier it gets.
Right. Like, what are we even talking about here?
It's like you said, riddles like to play these little games with our brains.
Oh, absolutely. Our minds naturally gravitate towards concrete things we can visualize.
Hmm.
But often the real trick to these riddles, and this one especially, is how they use everyday language to kind of lead you down the garden path.
I see what you mean. It's like it wants us to picture picking up objects or something, but then,
Exactly. The wording leads you one way, then bam, curveball. It's that the more you take, the more you leave behind. Part that really throws you for a loop. It's like both sides of the equation are increasing at the same time, which logically,
doesn't make sense, at least not when you're thinking about physical objects.
precisely. It's that parallel increase that's a major clue here. And notice how the riddle never actually tells us what we're taking or leaving behind.
You're right. It's all so vague.
And that vagueness is intentional. It pushes us away from thinking about concrete stuff and nudges us towards a more conceptual answer, idea, process, something abstract.
So we're dealing with a sneaky riddle. It makes us think about things and then throws a curveball. Putting it all together and he guesses at it.
Drum roll, please. The answer is footsteps.
Footsteps. It's so obvious now that you say it, but the way it just clicks into place is so satisfying.
Right. It's all about that perspective shift. Each step you take, you're leaving a footprint behind. The more steps, the more footprints.
And the riddle uses that word take to represent the abstract idea of moving forward, which is brilliant. It's such a simple concept, but it really makes you think.
And that's the beauty of a good riddle.
This has been eye-opening. It's like, even when the answer is something simple, the journey to get there can really make you appreciate the power of language and how easily we can get tricked by our own brains.
Absolutely. Sometimes you just got to look at things from a different angle.
Exactly. So listeners, keep those brain muscles working. You never know when a little riddle solving might come in handy in everyday life.